So, welcome, Linus. Thank you so much for coming and lovely to meet you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being invited, and thank you for organizing all this. It's good to hopefully talk to some really interesting people today and learn something.
And tell me, what is your focus in investing? Obviously, this is about security. What has basically driven you in that area?
Yeah, so I'm an associate at SigniaVC Partners, and we do early stage investing, so Series A and seed investing. And we had a couple of fintech investments. We also had a couple of security investments. And I think our interest with especially with our second fund, we have an $85 million fund we just closed last year. And I think our interest is going to be more in the security side. Obviously, with all the recent political stuff from the Russian hacking, China hacking, it's getting to a point where it's getting really in the mind share of the community in terms of consumers, enterprises, and so it's going to be an interesting area in the next 5 to 10 years. And so this is one thing we wanted to be more proactive in trying to figure out the sort of next generation technologies that will really define the future of security. And then with regards to FinTech, I think it's obviously a heavily regulated industry, one that hasn't really been disrupted. I think it's going to get disrupted like everything else, but it's just the harder one to do. And so I think timing is right, and then sort of the intersection of those two would be interesting to see what happens.
And so, where would you say that we're situated now as regards security and fintech, and where do you think we need to be, and what needs to happen to get there?
Yeah, I mean, that's such a complex answer to, or a question to answer. Yeah, I know, it's so broad. I mean, I think where we are now as an investor, we always believe that there is more to be done, and we're nowhere close to where what is possible, right? And so every day I see technologies, meet with entrepreneurs and other fellow investors that we sort of figure out where trends are going. And there's just so many different avenues, platforms that are coming out. So I think, if you just look at it at a very high level, if you just think about password systems, right? I mean, these are very sort of legacy type systems, and are they really needed with the amount of data we're generating through either biometrics or our own sort of interactions? Like, there are better ways to do this, and so I think there's a lot of opportunities for just improving. If you just take passwords authentication, it's going to be rapidly changed in the next 5 to 10 years. Like I said, I know everyone hates passwords, right? But why do we always use it? I mean, because it's actually a very effective system, but and nothing has really enabled it to become disrupted, because there's just the technology wasn't out there. But now I think, especially with sensors being so cheap and computing being so cheap, that it's really going to be the right time now for that to go away. And I think there's some interesting people doing some interesting stuff.
I'm on social media a lot, and I hate Twitter. I mean, I love Twitter. I was an early adopter, right? But do you know, they've locked me out. They lock me out regularly now. I mean, in the last month or so, they locked me out of my accounts. And you've got to change your password. And this site's been interfered with, and I'm like, there's no one else here but me. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm really feeling positive about your prediction about the passwords.
Crazy. I mean, even today, Google locked me out of both my accounts. I think I don't know what happened, and they made me re-sign in and authenticate. It's interesting, and it's kind of fitting that we're doing this panel today, because Google is also announcing that they've sort of figured out how to crack SHA, which was this, SHA encryption was the first original way the internet was encrypted, and they're going to release how to do it in 90 days. And so it's interesting, right? If you think about it, this is the next wave of security, and this sort of first wave, the birth of the internet and the technology that came out of that is going to be over pretty soon, and now we need better technologies to protect our security in the future.
So tell me, do you have a funny story as an investor?
Wow.
Everyone's pitching you all the time.
Oh God, we've had so many different types of people. Funny story. That's a curveball. I mean, we've had crazy pitches, and I'll tell you one of the crazy pitches I actually just got yesterday. A guy came in pitching he was doing a media company, but he came in with puppets, and he had an interaction, almost like a ventriloquist, but he had a puppet. And this guy was crazy, and we had no idea. It was fun, and it was interesting. It was different. He was quite a character, but we couldn't take him seriously. And yeah, and it was yeah. So it was one of the craziest. And this is yesterday, and there's multiple stories. We've had some people that are overly aggressive, or just we have no clue what they talk about. Like for an hour, we just like they're all rambling, and you get good and bad, right? I mean, our job is to talk to as many people, and obviously, if you talk to that many people, you're going to get these corner cases. But the puppet thing was the first time I've seen someone pitch with a puppet, and yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm looking forward to the panel. I think it'll be really.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. Appreciate it.